Hey guys, it's Greg Alexander again, and today our topic is catch more bass by being a jerk. What does that mean? Well, just stay tuned. So, I'm going to tell you a story. Years ago, I was fishing. We had a club trip, and we went to Bugs Island Lake Kerr Reservoir back in probably the late 80s, early 90s even. It's been a while. We used to go there every year. And this one particular year, the fish were in a weird pre-spawn or weird post-spawn mood. I'm not even sure if it was pre-spawn or post-spawn at this period in time. But most years we would go down there and we would catch a lot of fish. And this year they just weren't biting. It was difficult. We were only catching, a couple fish a day, and it's very difficult to get bit. And so we always had like a 2-day club tournament, and we kept our best 5 fish for 2 days. And the first day of the tournament, I went fishing and I wasn't doing very good. And I saw a guy pull up to a point across from me, and he caught one on a spinnerbait. And I thought, well, I haven't really been throwing a spinnerbait, so I'm going to tie a spinnerbait on. So I tied on a little 1/4 ounce chartreuse and white spinnerbait. It was a Stanley Standard. And I went fishing and didn't catch anything for a little while. So I pulled into this one pocket, and there was a little secondary point in the middle of this pocket, 2 little branches, and then the secondary point where they should be, pre-spawn, post-spawn. And my spinnerbait blade kept fouling on me. It just quit spinning. So I started jerking it when it quit spinning to get it spinning again. And I did that maybe about the 3rd time I did that, I catch a 6-pounder. And I thought, whoa, was that coincidence? So fished around, went to another point, fouled again. I gave it a couple jerks. I catch a 5-pounder. And so I started intentionally doing that. If you threw the spinnerbait out there and slow rolled it or just reeled it in, they wouldn't touch it. You threw the spinnerbait out there and you give it a couple hard jerks and then maybe a couple more hard jerks, they were T-boning that spinnerbait. So, when you take a jerk bait, well, we got a jerk bait right here. Everybody knows to jerk a jerk bait, right? Nobody just throws a jerk bait out and reels it in like a crankbait. You probably could, and you probably could catch some fish doing it. But that jerk or that erratic behavior is what triggers a bite. So you can take that philosophy with pretty much any winding type bait. Crankbait, chatterbait, spinnerbait, swim jig, any of it. And if you add erratic action to that lure, you're going to catch more fish. Like a fluke. Who throws a fluke out there and just reels it in? You jerk it. And what happens when you jerk a spinnerbait, those blades kind of flare and give a different type of flash. When you jerk a crankbait, it makes an erratic movement to the side, kind of like if you're, throwing a square bill, you're trying to hit cover with it so it bounces off. Well, you're creating the bounce off effect by jerking it yourself. So if you want to catch more fish, next time you go fishing and you're throwing your little square bill, just don't throw it out there and reel it in. Throw it out there, and when you get next to something, give it a couple jerks. When you're throwing your chatterbait or your spinnerbait, just give it a couple jerks on the way in, and you will catch more fish. So you understand that it really makes a difference to do something a little bit different and to impart some action into things that generally you wouldn't impart some action into. The story that I told you there about the club trip down to Kerr Reservoir, I had 18 pounds and change that day in the club tournament. And I don't think anybody else even caught a fish that day. I think the next day somebody caught 1 fish. I don't think anybody even caught a fish that day. So that imparting that action made not just a little difference, it made a huge difference. So if you like my content, again, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the little bell thing. It'll help you, it'll help me, and have a blessed day.